Welcome our sister wives, our brother husbands, and most importantly, our insecure moms to episode 2 of Insecure Moms. So, anyway, we wanted to welcome you guys in. If you're not following Purposeful Woman app on Instagram and Facebook, what else are you doing with your time? I mean, you might as well make sure you're following it. If you don't have the app, Purposeful Woman app, you are missing out on the notifications of when this podcast comes out, and then all of the going ons with Purposeful Woman. So we're going to hop right into episode 2.
All right, everybody. So this week we are going to talk about the toxicity of comparisons. Comparing kids, comparing yourselves to other moms, even comparing the journeys of co-parenting and parenting styles, all that good stuff. So this is something that in the age of social media is very real, is something that I think every single one of us is struggling with, looking at what other moms are doing, other families are doing, comparing the journeys and wondering if you're doing this right or experiencing FOMO, feeling like you're missing out on something sometimes. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
So this topic really came from me and Dina. We were at the house one day, and I literally said to my son, I was like, Trey, Jayla's doing XYZ, and I don't remember what it was that she was doing, but her and Trey are the same age. Jayla's older, but her and Trey are the same age. And so Jayla was doing something that I felt was advanced that Trey should be able to do. And so I said that. And in the midst of me saying it, Dina was like, don't say that ever again.
Right.
Like, don't bring up that Jayla's doing XYZ and Trey's not. Even though they're both 7, they're still 2 different individuals.
Because you don't want to force one child's timeline with the other child, because that could develop an ongoing issue, because they'll feel like I'm not good enough because this person is doing this and I'm not doing it at this age. So they'll constantly compare themselves as they go along in life with different journeys. So you don't want to, that's something you want to nip in the bud soon, because we all look at newborns. They start walking at between the ages of 10 months to 12, 13 months. But you can't say just because your child's not doing it at 12 months that something's wrong.
Correct.
They're just on their own timeline.
Correct.
So that's why I think it's a big thing to not compare your children, even if it is your firstborn and your secondborn. Don't compare them.
Kids internalize in what I do in being a counselor. That's the number one thing I try to instill in my parents, is that what may seem like a little offhand comment that you make, kids internalize everything. Kids, and it's the most cheesiest thing that Dr. Phil ever said, but it's so true, that kids have a unique ability to make things their fault. Whether it's discord in the home, whether it's you having a bad day and it's something else, they'll think, oh, well, what did I do to make mommy mad? Or why did, going through their head as to what they did that day. And so it is very important that we're careful and we're mindful of the things we say, especially you don't want to negatively impact their friendship and their relationship that they have, because those two are close. So you never want it to turn into
and I think that's what creates that black sheep.
Yeah,
in the family.
I agree. I definitely agree. And because of the comparison thing, because why else would you call yourself the outcast, basically, of the family, unless you felt like you were being compared to other people? Yeah. Because if not, you would never think that.
In counseling, we call that the identified patient. Usually a family will come in and be like, we need you to fix this kid. This is the one, this is the problem. This is the person that's wrong. And in counseling, what you learn is, no, it's a whole family system that has created this. And so, you brought maybe this one child in here, but usually that child was the one that has the most sense in the entire family. And it's everyone else kind of creating, these dynamics. And so until people can acknowledge that and deal with that, things don't change. But in the space we're in being moms, and when you're in a school system that is designed to kind of pit them against each other, and when you're in, we put them in extracurriculars and all the things we think we should be doing, by design, those things put them it pits them against each other. So how can we stay on top of that, and how can we encourage each other that when and I know we're good about it, if we're seeing someone do something, we're comfortable enough to kind of be like, hey, and hold each other accountable. But when we're at home and we're on Facebook or Instagram and seeing other moms do this or other moms do that, like for me in those moments, when I see like you had said before, like other moms seem to have it all together, and they can all sit and take the perfect picture, and everyone's looking forward and not 12,000 different ways, and I'm lucky if I get one family Christmas shot every year of everybody looking the same way, and it's just like, oh, how is everyone else able to do this but me?
I think that's the issue with social media, and it really just, I think the whole competition thing too all breeds from you wanting the best for your kids. Like, you want them to be able to compete. Honestly, a part of us do. I know a part of me wants my kids to be able to not necessarily compete, but I guess compete, hold their own. Like, I'm gonna be honest. When my boys play baseball, I literally, so Dina is like petty mom, period. And she laughs at everything, bro. Like, she laughs. So this summer, my boys, for the first time, played a sport. They played baseball, both of them. They're on two different teams, both played baseball. I legit told Dina I was not telling her when my kids played, because she was going to come out there. Like, if my kids out there bombing, not hitting the ball, like the ball going over their head, and they just like tweedledee, like my kid not gonna be the laughing stock of the kids. My sister would laugh.
But wait, she'll turn around and go hard for him if anybody else makes fun of him.
I'm not gonna let anybody else laugh, but
she will. But I think what makes it worse is that she tries to stifle it, and that's what makes it worse. She'll be like, cover her face, and it's like, no, we still see you. We know you're laughing. I'd rather you just be out with it instead of trying to stifle it.
But we're hard on them because we want them to be the best. We want them to excel in everything they do.
Correct.
But we have to also be realistic and know that everybody's not going to win everything. Mm-mm. Somebody has to take a L. Somebody has to not be so great at a certain subject or sport or whatever. So I have to take a step back sometimes and get off of social media.
There's lessons in loss, because one thing you don't want is an ungracious kid, an unsportsmanlike kid, one that can't be happy for someone else, when they win. But I think also part of that too is just, we're black moms, and we realize that our children, we are in a ever-growing divisive world where we know the realities against them. You have 2 black sons you're raising. I have a black son who has special needs. So every day it's like it's having to find that balance of being firm, being hard, preparing them for this world that is gonna, we feel like their babies are gonna chew them up and spit them out, but also nurturing them and letting them have a safe place to land. And sometimes that's hard.
And then it goes back to what we said on episode 1. That stuff is a direct reflection of me. I played good at softball. You're not going to be out there unable to hit, sir. Because I feel like now we need extra practices. Bruh, if we're losing, ain't going to be my child fault.
Bro, nobody know you play softball, bro.
But I knew that.
And then
that's a problem.
I never knew you played softball.
That's you got that one mom hollering in the stand, that little T-Joe's doing so great. He's like a star hitter. Like, you don't get mad.
But guess what? TJ may not be getting his sight words down.
And my child might be better at spelling, but nobody gonna see that.
But you don't know that in that moment. In that moment,
they're just gonna know that she strikes out every single time.
We don't know that if it's down for her,
is always clean.
Correct. That we not winning. So it is. I always take personally, and that's a thing I've had to really work with on myself, with like letting my boys just be boys, is stop putting me in it.
Right.
Like take me out
the equation.
Take me
let
out.
them just have fun.
Correct.
Because I think that's why they kind of, I don't want to go anymore. I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore.
If they see the parents,
because it's more of a pressure thing to them. Like, it's not fun. We take the fun out of it when we compete, but
I will say, like, the first 2 games, I was stressed out. but like...
Were you that mom and that dad that be on the TV and be kicked out of games?
I mean, I could almost, but I mean, I'm that mom that yells for sure whenever they do something really good. Like, I be out here yelling. But I mean, I did do well. Like, by game 3, I just let my kids live. Now, I was extremely excited when they did something good, and they knew it, and I was the loudest parent. I was the loudest parent yelling like a maniac. But I was excited. But I did make sure that if it was important for them to look great, like they had, because I feel like if my kids are struggling, hit just with batting, like Trey never played baseball before, so for his first year to be him hitting off of the, like him not hitting the T-ball, like it's straight pitching, like I understood, like, okay, it's gonna be tougher for him than it was Alex, because Alex got to hit off the T-ball and he was a great hitter, but he didn't have a ball being thrown at him either. You see what I'm saying? So for Trey, like it was actually more special to me when he hit, because I know how much hand-eye focus, that it took for that.
At least you got there. See, we did soccer shots when he was 3. And, homeboy just didn't listen at all. Like, he did his own thing. They do little drills. Now, the running drills, he was good. He running with him. He with him. I'm like, all right, son, go, go, go. Now it's like, okay, everybody got to take a turn kicking the ball. He over at the other ends of the goals. He walking around. Like he's in his own world. And the other parents thought it was so cute. And he truly took the attention away from the other kids because he was just being a character. But I'm mortified because I'm like, oh Lord, these people gonna tell us we can't come back. These people gonna be like, oh my Lord. And they were like, he's 3. Like, chill. It's fun. This is supposed to be fun. And so the lesson in that was, moms, let your kids live.
So let them enjoy the activities.
Right. So, moving on. Comparing yourselves to other mamas.
I mean, I try to do the best I can with what God gave me, okay? Like, but
name one time you compared yourself to
name a time I compared myself?
Yeah. An example.
Who was it that I compared myself to? I don't even remember. I mean, you know what? Sometimes I find myself comparing myself to other park moms. Like, when we go to the park, those mamas really be out there, like, they be out there pushing their kids, like on the swing.
In their yoga pants and their sneakers.
Yeah, they be in their yoga pants, sneakers. Come on, Belly,
let's run. The bun, ready.
But half of those moms are probably stay-at-home moms.
I be sitting down.
They have too much energy for me to say they have just worked a 8 to 10 hour shift and they out here at this park at 6 o'clock with so much energy.
Or the ones that have like 3 and 4 of them and they just be like perfect formation. I'm like, sis, teach me, sis, teach me. Right. I got one and he's over here hanging on stuff.
Like, I'll be chilling. Mine be like, Mommy, come push me on the swing. Nah, sir, I'm tired. That's your brother fuck. They got all these swings and everything else. These other moms like, I'll push. Great. I'm gonna sign up for that.
Oh, no, that will make me feel away.
Like, I don't really feel like you've been doing that.
Then you have to get up.
Yeah. And then you like gotta
like,
look.
Oh no, I got it.
Like you want to, but you don't because your arms hurt. Like, I don't.
Hot.
Yeah, it's hot. I really didn't feel like coming out here, but y'all got energy. Yeah, I promise you, so I came. So that's when the park moms be getting on my nerves. Yeah. That's when I compare myself.
The park moms. That is a whole.
Yeah.
That's a lane.
Do you know what about you?
Oh, I have a friend, and she's like really artsy, crafty with her kids. Like they do paintings.
Don't worry, that is not this friend.
That's not us.
Not these two. and I'm talking about library trips. Get there 3 to 4 or 5 books a week. Anytime there's a project, she's hands on building, and I'm just like, Lord. Did I just not stand in the arts and crafts line?
But you good though. You did my kid pumpkins the past 2 years.
It was all right, but you should have saw some of the other ones. Like mine was like bare minimum artsy. Like you gonna get this bare minimum pumpkin. That's it. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna try. I made a tutu. That's
I did my best.
She
as
got
far
that
as the
tutu
moms
off
that are like
Etsy.
painting the rooms.
You
and
cheater.
I
Etsy is
can't.
not for
Etsy-
school projects.
Oh, it is.
No,
For
ma'am.
me.
So,
Oh, Lord.
yeah, that's those really. I look at those and I'm like, well, let me try to do a little better. Let me go get a library book. We might do it one Saturday, 2 Saturdays, and we'll forget. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna start back. So that's when I compare myself when it comes to the educational, hands-on, year-round. Through school, I'm great, but through the summer, if she on break, I'm on break.
For real.
Because when she got homework, I got homework.
Correct.
So,
You know, for me, like, so my comparison is, of course, to other special needs moms or autism moms. And so, of course, when you get on this journey, they're like, okay, set this up, do this, go here, do this, set this up, put them in this, da-da-da-da. And so then you'll see, you know, other moms, you know, on top of the therapy visits, and it's like, okay, well, now I'm home and I've specially prepared his own fruit snacks. Like, they make their own fruit snacks. They make everything from scratch to make sure there's no preservatives or additives, and gluten free and whatever else free, and you know, fresh squeeze their orange juice. And I'm just like, yo, so this Tropicana,
like ingredients.
you know, I mean, it's from, it's from Florida. Orange comes from Florida. So, you know,
sounds about right.
You know, so stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you compare yourself to what you think you should be doing. And so with him, of course, my biggest fear in life is that I'm not doing enough when it comes to, because with what he's dealing with, early prevention early intervention is everything. And so I just feel like if I'm not doing everything, if we're not, you know, making sure his diet is good, if we're not making sure his sleep schedule is good, if we're not making sure that he's being exposed to more social situations, if we're not doing A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, I feel like, oh my God, I'm setting him up for the ultimate failure as an adult. Or will he not grow to be as independent as I know he can? I feel like that onus is on me to make sure, whereas most parents, they're working to 18. That is not my journey. I don't know what I'm working to. It may be 18.
Yeah.
It may be 21. It may be 25. Who knows? He may always need to live nearby. There's no crystal ball, and it's not, you know, just kind of like a typical situation where it's like, you know, at the 18, you go to college, you go to military, you get that, like, that is not how,
reality.
you know, or it can be. I just don't know what it may be.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what his abilities will be at that time. So in this stage where everything counts, it's like the pressure is just like super high, like that everything is done right and that everything is done in perfect step, because otherwise it's like, you know, because one day, you know, I want to be grown up and, you know, on a boat at 50. I want to be able to retire and, you know, be able to just enjoy life. But, you know, I don't feel, I just want to be, you know, the same retirement life everybody else pictures when their kids go off to college. I'm setting that same bar, because I feel like every time we set a goal for him, he meets it. So I'm not going to undersell him or undercut him in anything. And I feel like if I set that goal for him to be an independent, productive man with good skills and knows how to take care of himself, he will meet that. So.
And I want to piggyback on what you said about the whole making snacks. I think about how I don't know about y'all, but how we were raised, or how I was raised. She prepared at least 5 meals a week.
Oh.
My aunt, growing up.
Not mine.
So it's like,
no
I compare
5 meals a
myself
week,
to-
nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not cooking every week. You have some moms that are cooking
My mom
breakfast
did that too.
during the summertime.
I be cooking.
They're cooking dinner at night. They're making lunch. I might give you 2 to 3 meals a week on a good week.
Nah, she
on
not.
a good week.
Mm-mm.
But I feel
She
like
fell
as
off 3
long as
months
she
ago.
eating, that's all that matters. It don't matter what it is.
My mom was like that too, and I find myself trying to hold myself to that standard.
Right, to that standard.
To
Yes.
this day. Every Sunday we got home from church, Linda cooked for the whole week. So all
Right.
we would have to do is maybe fix a rice, fix a side. No, she had everything done. She was on her feet every Sunday making sure meals got done, because every other day of the week she's working too. So it's kind of like, I feel like, well, my mama did it.
Why can't
So
I?
Why can't
And
Why can't I
compare myself to that?
Why
Like,
can't
why
I be
am I not
Superwoman?
doing this?
She kept clean house all my dad had to worry about was keeping the grass cut and outside the traditional things, keeping the cars up. She handled everything inside that house. And so even now when I'd be like, I really need help, I'm really tired, this is so much, I don't like, my pride just won't, because that is my standard of what a good mom is.
Well, I didn't start cooking for mine until I got a divorce. So my kids got an all the way around promotion around this camp. So now that I am promoted and I only get them kids every other week, baby, I do cook when they're here. I cook at least twice a week. On the weekends, I'll throw in a breakfast. During the week, we just do quick breakfast, like a healthy cereal, or my kids love oatmeal, so I do an oatmeal. But yeah, but the weeks I don't have them, I'm in here bare and fair, praying that Dina cooked, and she didn't. So that's it. That's all I got.
Hey, don't throw me out there like
that. That's all I got. And our agreement was she was going to cook every other week, but it did not.
Not for this conversation.
Insecure moms. This is a comparison thing right now we're talking about.
Insecure appetites.
Insecure appetites. Stomach hungry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so finally we're gonna roll into comparing our journeys with our partners who we're raising these babies with, because I think that's kind of like an unsung topic. That's something that we think about, but nobody talks about. Again, because I think it's part of that superwoman syndrome.
Yes.
And I think in our culture, a lot of the raising or rearing of the children is on us as women. And so whatever the men do, no matter how much, is considered like a bonus usually, because it's supposed to be on us. We're the women. We're the ones that's doing that. So how do you find yourselves comparing your journeys? Quit looking away at the mirror.
Y'all can only see the look on my face. Oh, well, so when I was married, everything was all on me, which I did not sign up for that in real life. I thought it was going to be 50-50 because our relationship, everything leading up to it was 50-50. We always did every little thing together. So I just thought kids would be an added thing, that we would do everything together. And that's absolutely did not go like that at all. So now that I am divorced, I think that my ex has a way better appreciation for what I do, because now that he gets the kids every other week, and that's even during school time, he has to come home by a certain time. The schoolwork has to be done. You know, the meals have to be prepped and fixed for the next day, because my oldest brings his lunch to school. Like, now you get to see all the things that I griped about when we were married, because when we were married, you didn't have to worry about that. You did, you worked however many hours you were going to work. You went to whatever networking festival things you wanted to go to. You had free will. Now it's not like that. You got to pick the kids up at a certain time. You got to make sure that if they have an event and it's on your week, that you went and picked up all the proper clothing that goes with that event for the week. So it's no longer all just on me. I will say he and I have a great co-parenting relationship, because if I tell him something that I don't like, or I need him to incorporate a certain regimen in his schedule, I will give that to him. He does try.
Do you still find yourself comparing him though to like other dads, like out at the ballpark or out at the park?
Yeah, I did. Like when Trey wasn't that great of a hitter, I definitely I felt like that was his fault. I mean, 100. Sir, sports should be your avenue. If Trey out here not hitting the ball, I mean, that's really your fault personally. So yeah, I did. But I will say he was at every game. He was at every game. It's not, he may have missed 1 or 2 games. If he did, he always let me know, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I will say my boys have a great dad. They do. They have a great dad. He shows up when he's supposed to. Now, sometimes you have to drum him on, but for the most part, it could be worse. Yeah. It could be worse. And he's nowhere near as worse as it could be. So I'm appreciative
but y'all come a long way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we've come a long way. So shout out to my baby daddy. There we go. We in that thing.
I've co-parented with my child's father from day one. I did compare to other couples because I thought it would be better if we were married. Maybe if we were married, I wouldn't have to do this by myself. But then I see other married couples that are, the wives are still doing it. So that kind of gave me a little bit of relief to know that it's not just me. The first 4 years were okay because we're in the same city. So we shared responsibility real easy. But it wasn't until I moved here to Shreveport about 3 years ago. It was a little hectic because now it was 100% on me because he wasn't here. He wasn't here every day to pick her up from school. He wasn't here every day to help me with whatever assignments or activities she had. So it was 100% everything on me. So I was a little bitter at times, and I would compare him to the other parents, other fathers that were maybe out of town, but through prayer and things, it's working out. So yeah, I did compare him a lot.
And I think it's important, and I have to give you kudos when an opportunity. I think a lot of time, and I worked in child support for 5 years, so I heard a lot of their side, however misguided or well intentioned it may have been. Mm-hmm. But I take my hat off to you because there was a time, not long ago that he tried to extend that olive branch and open that door back up, and you could have easily been like in your feelings, still bitter, still just like now you want it, and really not think about your baby first. Right. But you did, and it meant the world to that little girl, and every single one of us saw it, and hopefully that sparked something in him to see that even though there's a little distance, the effort, look at the payoff that it makes. So kudos to you, sis.
Thank you.
That was real
big.
You
come a mighty long, real big, mighty long way. But honestly though, co-parenting is just one of those things. Like I said on the first episode, it really doesn't matter if you're married or not. Like everybody comes from those different, two totally different backgrounds.
Y'all know my husband and I come from two totally different walks of life. But our parenting style, and the number one thing that trumps all is our concern, love, intention for well-being of that little boy. And y'all know that little boy is the light of his life. He is his twin in every single way, and we both had to learn. Our kid did not come with a manual. None of our kids came with manuals, and we really had to think about his best interest. But we grew up with different religions. We grew up different denominations of religion. We grew up in different kind of school systems. We grew up in different type of parenting styles. We grew up in different type of family units, different kind of areas. He grew up in a more rural area. I grew up in a more urban area. And when it comes to parenting him, one thing that we can do is sit down and talk everything through and just get out of our own individual feelings. And like you said, that don't matter if you're married, co-parenting, because you're still individuals and you still have your own feeling about things. And then men come from a place, especially these father of these boys, they come from a place of, they take pride in raising young men and feeling like that is part of their responsibility. And so they're gonna look at it different than I am. I'm a mama. I'm gonna look at it from a nurturer, from a organized standpoint, and making sure certain things are in place. And we just gotta do our best to make that reconcile and make that align. And raising kids in this generation is hard.
Do you find yourself comparing him to other fathers?
I did around the time we were really getting into the diagnosing part. I guess because of what I do, I wasn't, in our community, we're just leery of labels, and we're leery of, psychology, and we're leery of new things, ADHD, that just, some people just don't want to label their child. And even though I understand that, it's what I do. So I understand that without certain labels, you cannot get certain help. And so I think for me, that is when I was just kind of like, oh, why can't he just give it the program? Why can't he see it like I see it? Why can't he see it from my way? Because, this is wasting time. This is this. But I also had to understand that he had to come on board in his own time so that we can move forward. Because if I'm over here and he's over here, we're going to just stay in an impasse. We're not going to have any forward movement. So the more information, instead of me just sitting in my feelings about it and just, it should be this way, it should be this way, let me give him information. Let me try to pass this education material out to him, and then let him, and that's what happened. He came to me and was like, you know what, that article you gave me, that makes sense, this, and so we got there. But yeah. Oh yeah, even married folks had that moment. It's like, wait a minute now, you gotta get on the same page with this. Not, and I know we're not alone. I know several of us know friends and have folks that, maybe grew up in different religions, and how, what principles do you raise your kids in? Because y'all were different religions as well, and religious backgrounds.
We had different religious backgrounds for sure.
So,
but here we are today, still killing this co-parenting game together.
Hey.
So, well, guys, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Insecure Moms.
Yes.
Please leave us your comments on the podcast when you're listening to it. Like the podcast, share the podcast with someone else,
and leave us ideas of stuff y'all want to hear.
Yes. So thank you again for this episode too. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll holla back at you. Bye.